Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to MoonTown Offline.
Offline.
In a little bit, and Cup has gone missing. But we've just been school and work and everything.
Alternative Cup.
Yeah,
9:27 a.m. September 11th, 2020.
all right. 9/11. Never forget.
Never forget.
So as you can see, I've got work in a bit, so we're gonna do our best to get through this. This will be our last three Batman movies for each of us. Let's get right into it.
Owen will be going first.
So what I got here, my third to last movie, is called Batman: The Nightfall. This would be releasing in 2030. So at the beginning of this movie, Bruce Wayne has gone missing after attending a fancy schmancy party. And it's up to the Bat family to try to find him, figure out what's going on. Dick has taken up the mantle of Batman to just kind of keep appearances. With Tim and Barbara and Alfred, they're just like in the back, like, yeah, go Batman. That's totally him. So they find the party that Bruce went to and went missing had connections to a secret society of rich Gothamites in porcelain owl masks. As of course they did. While this is going on, Gordon is investigating with the mysterious Oracle about a large investor who is also at the party and he runs this island nation out in the middle of nowhere called Santa Prisca. And like, oh, what was he doing at this party? Like, we can't identify anyone except for Bruce Wayne and this guy. So let's figure out what his deal is here. And they also see, oh shoot, this Santa Prescott dude, he's being bodyguarded by David Kane, who we had run into earlier. I think it was the second movie. Yeah, Batman the Gotham Knight. So they're like, all right, gotta figure this out here. Halfway through the movie, yeah. So halfway through the movie, or maybe like 2/3 of the way in, they finally find Bruce Wayne. But
Okay.
he doesn't seem to remember anything about being Batman.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh, what's this, man? Dude, it's been like a month or two since you've been disappeared. What the heck is going on? And he's just like, Playboy stuff. And then at night, they watch him go out and get into a completely different disguise and costume. And he puts on this weird mask with these crazy eyes. And now he's calling himself Talon. And he's running off and he just starts killing people. Like, what the heck's going on?
What the heck, indeedo?
Yeah. So Bruce did find, during the party, he did find his way to this Island Nation leader who only calls himself Bane, who's actually a leader in the Court of Owls. And there have been other members going around, like Ra's al Ghul. Hugo Strange was a member, and Harvey Dent was offered to be a member, but he refused. So they, you know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff happens. These last three are fairly abstract, so keep with me here.
Okay.
And eventually they all get together. So it's Batman, Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, and then Jim Gordon with, I don't know, like a shotgun or a real big nightstick, versus Bane and Talon. And there are a few other parties going around, like there are cops that are just beating up on Court of Owl members. There are Court of Owl members beating up on those cops. It's crazy. This is all happening in like the Gotham Square. Like, what the heck's going on? So eventually Bane's like, yeah, I totally brainwashed Bruce Wayne after snapping his back and bringing him back to health with the Lazarus Pit, because that makes people a little more susceptible to being crazy. So we totally just, Court of Owl had brainwashed him. He's our new Talon, and he's going to go off and go, oh, look, he just left the fight and Now, like, you're going to take me to jail, sure, and you're going to take me in front of the UN and whatnot, but your buddy Bruce, he just left his Talon, and that's where we end that movie.
Oh, dang.
Like, oh shoot, the heck's going to go on now? So now this next one, number 7, is a little more abstract. Working title is Batman the Hood, in which the Bat family is now just trying to track down Talon. Because Bruce Wayne Talon is now like, hey, this guy Batman was fighting the Joker. Joker did some crazy stuff to him, and he just kind of disappeared. All right, I'm going to go find him right now. And just not even care about what kind of things Bruce has to do. I'm just going to go out and start, like, going all Frank Miller on some of these, like, cops and gang members. And just like, yo, where's the Joker? Bam. All right.
Bam. All right.
Yeah, basically. So, and of course, another guy that's trying to find the Joker is Red Hood, who's this new kid who's using guns and stuff. So him and Talon start fighting. It's crazy because they don't know who the other one is. Red Hood doesn't know that Talon is Bruce, and Bruce doesn't know that Red Hood is Jason Todd, back from the dead from the Lazarus Pit. So the Bat family kind of confront Ra's al Ghul about that because he hasn't been arrested. He's still kind of off to the side, like, yeah, I did my thing with Batman, so I'm just gonna be back here with the assassins and stuff.
As you do.
Yeah. And like, dude, the heck, why did you do that to Jason? Like, well, I mean, you know, Joker came to me with Jason's body after Batman left. Like, Batman buried him, and then Joker, like, dug him back up and brought him back to me. I was like, hey, guys, throw this kid in there and just kind of send him running loose, because that'll eventually lead him. He'll eventually lead his way back to Batman. And I'll get him more psychologically messed up. Hey, that's a cool Lazarus Pit. Wee! And he slips in there.
Wee! Indeed.
Yeah, but the Lazarus Pit isn't working well with the chemicals that are just embedded into his bloodstream and stuff. So now he's got this disease, and he's got to somehow find a cure. And he figures the only people that could do that are the people that are closest to the Batman family. And eventually, yada, 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 yada. Again, very abstract. I apologize. And then Talon, gets the Joker. He's about to kill him. But then it's Red Hood. It's Jason that gives him the speech of, no, killing this might be wrong. Like, I've been after him for years now. And, you know, I've come very close to getting it. But, you know, killing can be my thing. But I know for a fact it's not your thing. Because you're Bruce Wayne. You're the Batman. And Talon's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I am the Batman. So, all right.
You know what? I recognize that. I am indeed the Batman.
Yeah. So he's like, all right, I want to take up this cure. And he has that second of like, well, if I don't give him the cure, he's just going to keep doing everything he's doing, but worse. And then Joker tackles him to try to get the cure, but the cure breaks all over the place. And then,
no.
And then Joker just dies there on his own. So Joker is dead, Arkham City style. And now the Bat family is a little closer together. You know, Red Hood, he just kind of leaves off, goes back to doing his own thing. But Bruce is like, oh, come on, you. And Red Hood's like, yeah. And just leave. And then the super abstract one, the one that I have tried for weeks to get a full storyline through, but for the life of me, I just could not with this one. The working title is Batman: The Final Clue, releasing in 2032, the last movie. And Riddler comes in. This is the first time we're actually seeing Riddler. So this isn't really a Hush. There's no Hush story in this. I apologize.
It's okay.
But Riddler just shows up out of nowhere. And it's like, hey, Bruce, Batman. Yeah, I know who you are. I've been studying you for years. And I know exactly how to break you in every conceivable fashion. Ross couldn't do it. Hugo couldn't do it. Joker couldn't do it. So This is my shot. I'm gonna try to do it. And it's like, all right, so Batman, Jim Gordon is dead. Find out who killed him. It's very abstract, but and Batman's gonna be like, no. And Riddler and Scarecrow actually teaming up, and they've just completely evacuated the city. And now it's like, Batman is now just left alone with every conceivable criminal in Gotham, and he's got to figure out who killed this police chief in a place with thousands of different, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Not persons of interest. Not witness. Why am I blanking on this? Suspect. Yes. I don't know why I blanked on that. Yeah, there are tens of thousands of suspects just running around Gotham City. It's like, shoot. There's all these little mini riddles that are maybe leading him closer to it, maybe not. But eventually he's like, oh, shoot, the guy that killed Jim Gordon, funny enough, is this dude named Joe Chill. Okay, what's his thing?
Oh, shit. Joe Chill.
That thing. Yeah, okay. And Riddler's like, yeah, Joe Chill was my dad, and like he's the only one that told me that he's the one that killed Thomas and Martha Wayne. So I've just been studying up on the Waynes for years to try to top dad because he like beat me as a kid. So I wanted to make sure that I was better, not only smarter, but just more capable and better than him. So I was like, Dad, you just killed the two richest people out of happenstance. There was no plan. There was no grand execution. There was nothing. Just bam, bam. And like, you didn't even take anything. You took maybe like one pearl. And we're still here in the slums, Dad. So you know what? I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to keep an eye on this son they still have that you idiot, you didn't even kill. So like, that's my bait. I'm going to track that down for years and keep tabs on that guy forever. And I'll like kind of join this Court of Owls because maybe Bruce will decide to join that. But they've never sent him an invite. Well, all right, I'm just going to keep looking at him. All right. Hey, Dad, you might want to kill Jim Gordon right about now. And then he totally does. And then Batman has his like, who am I? As he's like just wailing, just destroying Joe Chill right now. And he's like, I can't do it because I'm Batman. Riddler's like, yeah, all right. I'll just blow up Gotham. That's my plan. And Batman's like, no, that's stupid. You didn't plan out this at all. You're like, this is all happenstance. I could have gone literally anywhere, and you just decided to follow me. Like, there's no execution in your thing. And Riddler's just like, dude, shut up, man. And then he tackles Batman, and they go like falling off the Wayne Tower, and they're just like beating on each other, and they're falling and they're falling and they're falling. And it's like none of the bodies aren't found. Like they immediately go over to them, and there's no body. There's certainly blood, but there are no bodies. And none of the Bat family have any idea what's going on. Like, is this just how Batman decides to retire because he finally found justice for his parents? Or is he actually dead and somebody just took his body? Like, all right, we got to figure this out here. So Nightwing stays as Batman, decides to take up that mantle, but in a more lighter tone. Tim Drake's like, hey, I'm done being the Robin. That's not my thing. I'm just going to add a color at the beginning of it, and that'll be my new thing. That's a completely different thing from Robin. I'm now the Red Robin. And Oracle's like, cool. Hey, Dick, you want to, like, actually go out sometime? Because it's, like, been a while. Dick's like, yeah, man. I want to, let's go. And Alfred,
Oh, my God.
yeah, and Alfred's like, memories. And then bats fly off in the sunset, and there's, I don't know, like, Bruce in a cafe, just like.
Like Dark Knight Returns. Arises.
Yeah, like Rises. But, yeah, that's very quick stance on my last 3 Batman films. With slightly more thought into the last two, it could come together a little better. But I like where that direction went.
You make this shot, you can have anything you want for dinner.
I'll have Kentucky Fried Chicken, Mom.
You got it, superstar.
Kids love Kentucky Fried Chicken, just like other folks. And with all those delicious fixins, what a meal.
It's finger-licking good! Real goodness from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
All right, all right. Yeah, I definitely have. My last two are not nearly as long as any of them because it's hard to write at one point when you're just like on your 7th or 8th Batman film and you're like, I don't know what to do with this villain. They're great. But there's so many things I could do. This is pressure, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So at the end of last week, so last time I talked about Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. And in this one, that I teased Nightwing versus Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the longest one that I have written out. And the other ones I'll kind of half improv, half work out with you what'll happen in those films. But I do have a set things that will happen in those, so that's enough. That's all I needed. But Nightwing versus Robin takes place at the exact same time as Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. This comes out in November 2027. Batgirl came out in March. So same year. The heroes are Nightwing and Robin Jason Todd. The villains are Ra's al Ghul and antagonist, because I wouldn't call him a villain, Damian Wayne. So the plot, Robin and Nightwing stop a mugging of a foreign man in Bloodhaven. Then they get attacked by the foreigner, who is an assassin. The assassin escapes. At the Batcave, they see Barbara leave and a picture of Lady Shiva on screen. And they talk about stuff. Because you remember Barbara investigated Lady Shiva with Bruce. And then immediately after she leaves, or while she's leaving, Robin and Nightwing just show up and we have a thing too. And it's also the League of Assassins. We're going to go investigate the League of Assassins. And Batman's like, you do that, I'll be there later. But if you remember Batgirl, he gets kidnapped. So he's not going to be there later. Batman sends him to Nanda Parbat and says he'll join in a few days. Damian Wayne, so we cut to Damian Wayne questioning his mother, Talia al Ghul, about his father. And she says he's visiting him soon. And he'll meet him soon, and that there's two people standing in the way of him meeting Bruce. These people obviously being the Robins, Jason and Dick. And they arrive at a populated city outside of Nanda Parbat, and they stay at an inn. Then they are attacked by two assassins, but this time they take him out, and now they're going to invade Ra's palace. So they go, and they find, while they're there investigating, this is kind of where it gets abstract, they find Selena Kyle dropping off stolen items from Star Labs, and they overhear how she stole stuff from the Court of Owls. The two Robins meet Damian disguised, and then he kind of figures them out. He's the son of the greatest detective in the world. Eventually, Damian ends up taking out Dick because they're surprised. But Jason actually ends up helping knock him out. But then Ra's comes in and it's just like, whoop-pop on Jason. And the two wake up in prison. They are then tortured, trying to get, why are you here? Who are you? Blah, blah, blah. Stuff out. And then they go on these fear dream sequences after being drugged. And Dick in his dream fights Psycho, who's this reoccurring villain from the Robin movie, the Robin movie and the Court of Owls movie. He comes back. Almost kills Jason's mom. But he loses and Psycho's goes to kills Barbara. It's like, oh, Dick cares about Barbara. That's well. Jason fights George Leonti. That's his mother's boyfriend from the second film, Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, right.
Or he's part of the Sons of Anarchy. And then he takes off his mask like a flesh thing, gross. And it's an older Jason. So Jason's biggest fear is himself. I mean, that's for you to form your opinion on based off of that I just said that. Older Jason threatens his mother, and then Jason brutalizes the older one and kills him with his fists. So he breaks the hypnosis and then breaks Dick out of it too. They are freed by Selena Kyle, and she says that they should challenge Raish and Damien. I forgot what it was called, so I just called it a League of Assassin duel.
Yeah.
There's a name.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what it is.
And the Parbat Thunderdorm.
Yeah, I wanted to call it an Agni Kai, but that's Avatar.
Yeah.
Dick challenges Raish and Jason challenges Damien. Damien beats and seemingly kills Jason, and then Dick beats Raish but spares him. Ooh. Yeah, Dick actually beats Raish. That's pretty good. Damien then challenges Dick and sends Jason's body to the Lazarus pit and slips an assassin a note. What this note says is, I didn't kill him. He's not going to the pit. Just put him in the hospital wing. Dick fights Damien, and the two are seemingly evenly matched. Damien reveals his backstory. Talia drugged Bruce. Artificial womb, and then he's been trained to be an assassin nonstop, and he keeps hearing about his father and how he's the Batman. And, you know, they're putting these two worlds in front of Damien. Damien just wants to meet his dad. Dick agrees that he'll let him meet Bruce one day, and then he just, like, wins the duel. Dick Grayson now, because of this, has become head of the Demon. He's head of the League of Assassins.
Huh.
And he learns that Jason's okay, and he offers Raish one final dip into the pit, but Raish says he's unable to anymore, and like that's why he hired Selena Kyle to steal things, and he hired the court. So he tried to steal things from the court. That's why, if you remember her running off with like some of the thing from the medical bay that can bring people back to life.
That's right.
And papers from the thing. Yeah, so that's why she was there. Raish says he's unable to use that one anymore, and then it's destroyed. So they destroy the Lazarus pit. At least that one. It's hinted at that there's another one that they're looking for. Nightwing then declares that they are no longer the League of Assassins, but the League of Shadows. So I finally, I put that one to rest. I made it official where now that one's no longer called this, it's called the other one. A nod to the fact that it's called both. Mm-hmm. And it's now an intelligence network and protection service. So that he then denounces his role as head of the Demon to Damian Wayne. And Dick and a pissed Jason because he lost a fight. We forgot. It's like putting him down a path towards anger that he thought it might fix, but it wasn't fixing. It wasn't fixing it, Owen. He was an angry boy. So he gives a tearful goodbye to Bruce, and then Dick, and then he says hi to this new girl, Cassie, who's just here. Barbara's not here. We don't know where Barbara is. But then Jason visits its mom in the hospital and kisses her goodnight. And when he goes to leave, he gets knocked out from behind. And as the end title card is on screen, they hear his mother scream. I might have said scream a second ago. I meant scream, and then we hear his mother scream.
That's haunting.
Yeah, so that's November 2027. And then in December 2030, making you wait.
So long.
We get the movie called The Last Night.
Oh.
K-N-I-G-H-T.
Of course.
So the heroes in this are Batman Bruce Wayne, Nightwing Dick Grayson, Batgirl Cassie Kane, and Robin Damian Wayne. Woo! We're elevating them because we lost to Jason, we lost Barbara. We're bringing them back. We're getting a new Batgirl and Robin. This is a very short plot. I'll explain it later.
You're gonna have to raise like 2 murder children.
So yes, he is. So the villain is the Joker. The Joker's finally getting his own movie. I'm ashamed that I couldn't write out an entire big plot for him like I did for Thomas Elliot, but
that's all right.
Or for the Court of Owls. So Joker shoots Barbara through the spine at her front door. So now we're seeing the ends to the last 2 films from 2027.
Right.
And then he walks away to a hospital. Did you hear everything?
No, you cut off. It closed down the Zoom meeting after you said he shot Barbara, I have no idea what's going on. This is the third time it's done this right now.
So
How is this going to look for the video?
I don't know, but it's still recording at least. So he shot Barbara,
All right, so
turns around, walks back, sees Jim Gordon, like, my daughter, shoots Jim in the stomach. He doesn't really care about Jim that much.
Yeah.
And then he looks at Barbara, and he's just like, I might as well finish it. So he shoots and kills Barbara. So, plot twist, there's no Oracle. That's what you thought for 3 years, movie fans? Nuh-uh. Turns around and he leaves. He then goes to the hospital. He knocks out Jason Todd from behind and kidnaps him and his mother. That's why she screamed. It's the same scream. In a warehouse, Jason wakes up unconscious, tied to his mother, and then a video appears in the bad screen computer. Now I have to start going off. I didn't write anything else. I wrote 2 more things down, but we'll get to them in a second. So the death scene for Robin, and then his mother plays. We get the crowbar bit. But this Joker doesn't, he's a little more just horrifying. He doesn't talk as much. Sometimes he's like move his head, then he'll laugh to himself and he's like, yeah, this will be a good idea. And then he just will start like beating on Jason. And then Jason's like, what the fuck? And then he turns around and we don't see him beat on his mother because I'm nice. But his mother is beat up and bruised too. And then he places a bomb. And then, so Batman is in the Batcave and it's just night. And he's just like, what is the Joker going to do? I've been pondering for 3 years, like these movie fans, what is Joker going to do? And then all of a sudden the fetus appears on his screen from a security thing. And he like finds it out and he's like, holy shit. And he's like, I got to go get Jason. And so he like tells Alfred to send a message to Barbara, who Nightwing, and when he tells Cassie to stay here. And so Batman and Nightwing end up going searching for Robin. And Batman literally, like, he gets the street. He's coming around. He's on the motorcycle. Because he gets through narrow areas faster. They're in old Gotham now. And then we switch back to the video. And then, like, Jason's just unconscious. And then he, like, will pet maybe the mom's head and say, don't worry. You'll be with your husband and your son will also be with you soon. And then he'll just press a button on a bomb. It'll say 30 seconds. Joker just walks out the door. And then we'll see just the countdown on one side of the screen and Batman just going through Gotham. And then he'll see the building at 10 seconds left. And then he's running. He'll get to the door on 1. And then all of us, or he'll get to the door on like 3. And then on 2, he'll see the bomb. And then on, it'll be like 2, 1, and he'll wipe up his cape. And then boom, explosion. And then we'll cut to Nightwing seeing it happen because he's not too far. But then he'll start to come down. And then eventually Nightwing rescues a beaten up Bruce Wayne. And then they find the scarred and burned remains of Jason Todd and his mom. So he gets the hospital and he calls the cops. And then they find out that Jim Gordon's not answering his phone. And then so Nightwing's like, oh shit. Did something happen to Jim? I'm gonna go to and Barbara, I'm gonna go to their house. You know, because he was also trying to contact Barbara, but she wasn't saying anything. And so he opens the door to Barbara's house and he sees Jim like going to the, like still trying to reach the phone, but it's just not happening as his stomach is just bleeding. And we're not going to show Barbara's body, but there's like a big pool of blood and Dick is just like scarred permanently for life. So eventually we'll officially learn through a hospital report or whatever. So Bruce is in the hospital. Or Bruce is in the Batcave as Alfred is his doctor, as his physician. And then Cassie will be in the hospital. And Batgirl, or Barbara Gordon will be in the hospital, and she'll die in the hospital. So she died. She went into a comatose state, and then died.
Okay.
Jim is going to make it. And
We got one.
Jason's not going to make it, but Jason's mom is going to make it. Somehow. It's just the way that Jason was like covering her from the... Jason kind of shielded her from the blast, and the doctor will even mention that. And then you'll cut back and you'll see Jason like go over his, like crawling over his mom, and his mom's just bawling her eyes out. And he says, "I love you, Mom. You're the best thing about my life." And then as that happens, he'll see Bat Bruce walk to the door and then shield his cape, and then explosion. So that's sad. So that's what I have for the hijinks of he's gonna meet Bruce. So Bruce is gonna be in a very fucking weird emotional state. But eventually Joker is gonna try to kidnap, because he's gonna find out about Cassie and Damien. And he doesn't care about Dick. And we don't really know why, but he doesn't care about Dick.
The worst crime.
I know, right?
I think care about Dick Grayson, man. Come on.
So Damien, Wayne, and Cassandra can begin to form a friendship, actually. Yeah, Damien's a little younger, so Cassie's like the big sister. But yeah, and then there's a funeral scene for both of them, for both Jason and Barbara. And then you'll have cameo appearances from Oliver Queen, from Helena Bertinelli, and from Dinah. And they'll ask Bruce, like, "Oh, do you need anything?" And they'll be like, "No, we're good." Jim will be at the wedding, and he'll give a good speech for his daughter and for Jason, because he knew Jason, and he knew Jason was there against a time where Gotham needed him the most, about anarchy and stuff. And then the rest of the film is just the Joker committing like just fucked up shit after fucked up shit. And it's funny how you had in one film, you had both of the things happen, and then I also technically had them happen in one film too, so that's funny.
Yeah.
But eventually it's gonna turn out Joker. So Nightwing will get incapacitated. Cassandra and Damien will be missing, and it's just the Joker and Bruce. And then Joker will reveal how. So here's one sentence I have. Joker is the cause of every single movie. You'll find out he's the one that spoke to Anarchy to get him to leave and to try to start a thing and make it almost a new court on his own, because Joker was a part of the Court of Owls. Joker told Haley to come to Bloodhaven, and Joker told Psycho that he should go to Bloodhaven. Joker, hold on, what happened in Hush? That's cool. Well, Joker was also part of Hush. We know that. That's where he first appeared as one of the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
So you can see him in that one. Joker's the one that administered him the poison. In the fourth film, he shows up. Joker. Yeah, so Joker was the cause on the movie. And also Joker told Ra's al Ghul to test any of the Bat family that comes to him, because Joker thinks that that's going to happen. He says, you'll see, like, Joker has planned out all this shit. Like, this has been the plan. He says, it's time. I'm making a comeback for you, Bruce, and I've decided, you've always thwarted my plans in the past, and so I've decided that if I can just get you to understand me, to see the world as I do, to laugh as I do, then maybe.
When did you start baking from scratch?
It's not scratch, Mom. It's new Pillsbury Plus.
A yellow cake this firm could only be from scratch.
It's Pillsbury Plus.
A cake this moist could only be from scratch. A cake this rich could only be from scratch.
It's Pillsbury Plus. The plus is pudding. Pudding right in the mix to add that moistness.
Rich flavor. New Pillsbury Plus, huh? Looks like Scratch has met its match.
All right, technical difficulties, ladies and gents.
Yeah. So let's get back to it. All right.
So Joker's like, it's just you and me, and he says, to make sure of that, it's just us. I got us a gift, and he completely gasses the entire room. They're both infected with a deadly virus, and he says, Bruce, we're both destined to die together now, right? So unless you find a cure, it's going to be you and me. And then Batman will spend some part of the time at the end of the film with Jason and Cassandra, because Nightwing will be incapacitated. I don't know why, but I just want Nightwing incapacitated.
Didn't Jason die though?
Oh, sorry, I meant Damian and Cassandra.
Yeah.
Also, Joker will go. He's going to do something to where he sends the remaining court members that are in surrounding cities. He sends them to Nanda Parbat. And they are actually going to establish a new Court of Owls by joining with the League of Shadows. So Joker wanted Ra's gone. So that's also why he's like part of the reason for even the Robin and Nightwing films. Like everything is going according to his plan. Yeah, and you have Talia and Lady Shiva in Iron Heights because of Batgirl. So it's great. So near the end of the film, Batman has to make a decision. There's only one cure. There's only enough to cure one of them. And he can't make the dilemma. Or he can't do it. And then Joker, touched, says, oh, well, I'm glad that you view us so equal that you can't even bring yourself to just give yourself the cure and kill me. And he says, this is touching. I'm going to send you a gift. And he does something, and you don't know what it is. And then he comes back, and he comes back with the cure. And he says, looks like we can both get cured, Batman. Bruce. And then he calls him Bruce, and Bruce is like, what the fuck? And then they take the cure, but then they get told by Dick, who's with Alfred, so Dick's back, and he tells Bruce that the cure didn't work. They tested it, and it was a sham, and it was actually set up by the remaining court members. And then Bruce and Joker just stand there in the room together, and they just laugh. They just laugh it off, and they die. Bruce and the Joker die. To make my next film and do it expediently, it's called Dawn of the New Batman and Robin.
That was all just the second to last one?
Yeah, it's from April 2032, so 2 years later. The heroes are Batman, Dick Grayson, Robin, Damian Wayne, Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, Huntress, Black Canary, and Green Arrow. So in the wake of Batman's death, the city mourns. Well, not the city, but everyone that knows him mourns.
Yeah.
And we learn about the gift that the Joker did for Batman, and it's the Joker, so of course it's not really a gift. But it turns out that he had known where another Lazarus pit was that they could never find. And then Dick goes, no, he wouldn't do that. So he goes to the graveyard, and he checks for Bruce's body, and it's still there. And he's like, what? This is weird. And then he checks, and then Jim says, because now Jim's in on everything, by the way.
Yeah.
Jim goes, what about their graveyards or their graves? It's been about a year since the last film, and they open up the graves to Barbara and Jason, and they're gone. So now when I read to you the villains, it's the new Court of Owls. You have the Red Hood, Jason Todd, and calling herself by her friend's own moniker, Orphan, Barbara Gordon. So we have a Lazarus-pitted Jason Todd and Barbara Gordon fighting against the new Batman and Robin, Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne. And to help bring them back to their senses, you have people from their past, Green Arrow, Huntress, and Black Canary. And eventually, I barely read anything for this plot. But Red Hood and Orphan do manage, and the new Court of Owls do manage to like completely take hold of Gotham, fight off the GCPD. They even managed to take out GCPD's like Batwing things that you saw in Hush, or that you saw in Court of Owls.
Oh, yeah.
Like they even managed to take over that. But somehow our little band of heroes manages to deactivate the Batwings to fight off the new Court of Owls. And just finally, it's going to be Dick Grayson and Cassie versus Jason and Barbara. And eventually Barbara and Jason will like come to their senses almost, where you'll have that big image where Nightwing lost Psycho, someone that was like him, but he's not going to lose Red Hood. So we set up a similar fashion to where he's going to fall, like Red Hood's going to fall off a cliff. But instead Nightwing's going to pull him out and he's just going to hug. He's going to hug Jason. He's going to say, "It's okay. It's all right. And I'm sorry that we weren't there for you." And it's going to just break off something in Jason's head. And he's realized that this whole time he's been fighting himself. So we'll have in Jason's own head, the older Jason from 2 films ago, and this other Jason, he's going to hug that Jason, where he just beat him to death early. He's going to give him a big old hug. And Jason accepts himself for who he is, and Dick accepts Jason, and they embrace. And Barbara and Cassie, they have a nice moment too. Probably not as fulfilling because we've been setting up the Dick and Jason since Robin, but still a nice moment. And then like one of the last shots of the film will be everyone, including like the new like Huntress, Black Canary, and Green Arrow, with Barbara, who because of her injury in a fight within this film against Damien and Cassie, has like such a little bit of spinal damage that the Lazarus Pit isn't healing. And so she's just going to reject all of this new Court of Owls bullshit. In their meds, going to be Oracle. Jason Todd's body's fine. He's going to be Red Hood. And the last shot is them all in like the dining hall, like drinking stuff. And you see Alfred Pennyworth just looking at the family, the Bat family. And he's like, "It's a nice group of kids." And then you'll have the picture of Bruce Wayne right behind him. And it'll zoom in on Bruce Wayne. And then my film series is over.
Zooms in on his face. He gives a little...
I'm not dead. I'm a picture.
I'm a painting.
Yep, a painting.
That's all, folks.
That's all.
Yeah, wow. That was intense. That was some good little... a good wrap-up movie.
Yeah, you too. You had a nice wrap-up to your series, too.
Thanks, yeah. That Joe Chill thing, I didn't write down. That was just off the top of my head. And
oh, nice. That seemed really nicely planned. Yeah, some of this stuff was good, too.
Being Joe Chill's son, that actually worked out a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, your whole thing is super cool. Your whole thing is like so well formed together. Whereas mine, like, you could argue a few of mine easily.
You have a better Bruce Batman story.
Yeah, you have
My films come together for Dick and Jason.
you have a very Dick Grayson movie saga.
Oddly enough, yeah. The real hero.
Yeah. So guys, that's about it. His stuff was super cool. My stuff, I think it was cool. So like, question of the day, was this super cool? Are there any other heroes or teams that you want us to make another movie saga thing out of? Do you want us to make something for Superman? Do you want us to make something for just like a Phase 1 Justice League thing or like an X-Men thing? Let us know in the comments below, please. There's a real big empty spot in the comments that are just waiting for your ideas. Because your ideas give us ideas, and our ideas and give your ideas. It's a nice little circle of life thing. Other than that, make sure to subscribe to MoonTown. Make sure to like if you like this video, and tell your friends about it if you liked it. Be like, hey man, you should check out these guys. They got MoonTown Offline. This and like another few episodes of playlists they can watch. It's like, hey, they also play Shrek games and they play Kingdom Hearts games, and you should check those out. They should do a lot of awesome stuff. So thank you for watching today. And Austin, any last words before we head out?
What's black and blue and yellow all over? Me, when I beat you up, and it's Jason Todd as Robin beating up the Riddler.
Yeah. Why is it yellow all over?
Because he's yellow cape? I don't know. Maybe a bad quote, but
he's beating up a banana man. He's got
the Banana Man, the real Batman villain.
Yeah, I'm surprised they never did that in the '60s. Banana Man.
There was a limit to what there's a limit to even what they would do.
Okay, well they did Zebra Man, so Banana Man is kind of on the table.
Yeah, you're right. All right, peace, everyone.
Peace, everyone. We will see you in the next video.